PFT Media.
What's up, my dudes? It's Billy D. Welcome to the Post-Mortem.
Shut up and sit down.
Better strap yourself in. Got some really cool movies today. Right, let's get right to it. Number 90. When you look at a list of the most prolific directors in the world, one name is often neglected. That man is Takashi Miike. As of this taping, he's in the middle of post-production on his 102nd film. This is the first movie I ever saw by him. It's 1999's Audition. Audition is a wild ride. The plot's pretty straightforward. It's about a widower who's convinced by his teenage son that he should probably start dating again. Being a film producer, he takes out an ad staging an audition for a fake film, and he lists all the qualities in a woman that he's looking for. And he actually does fall for one. Being a Takashi Miike movie, the one that he attracts is not exactly a stable young lady. This film's always listed as one of the most disturbing movies ever made, and it's got some classic Miike graphic violence, but it's his most realistic violence. The other films, which are extremely violent, are much more cartoonish in their level of gore. Audition is his most Hitchcockian film. It's a slow burn. It's a unique piece of Japanese cinema that crossed over into American audiences, and it crossed over into European audiences. It's a movie everyone was talking about at the beginning of the 21st century. And it cemented Miike's reputation as a one-of-a-kind auteur. Now, Audition actually took 3 weeks to film. He was used to doing 2 weeks of principal photography on all his movies, but he actually took extra time filming the climax of this because he was having so much fun. And that's really all there is to say about a Takashi Miike movie is Miike. 89. At number 89, we have the second part in Chan-wook Park's Vengeance trilogy, Old Boy. Now, I'm not talking about the 2011 Spike Lee Old Boy with Josh Brolin. That movie was a lifeless piece of crap. I'm talking about the 2003 Old Boy from Korea. This is a doozy. It renders you speechless the first time you see it. This isn't Death Wish. Old Boy is a film that, according to Roger Ebert, is not unique because of its gratuitous violence. It's unique because of the way it strips bare the human soul. Now, that's a pull quote if I've ever heard one. Old Boy is about a Korean businessman named Odesu, and Odesu is out drinking with a buddy one night, and he is black bagged, thrown into a van, and locked in a hotel. And he's locked in a hotel for 15 years. You know, in the course of this film, you get to see what happened to him in this hotel for 15 years. He eats dumplings every meal, he does push-ups, he tries to kill himself a whole bunch of times. They're at least concerned with keeping him alive during the time that he's imprisoned in this hotel. The single-shot hammer fight in this movie is a scene that will be picked apart and studied for years to come. It's going to go down in cinema history as one of the greatest one-shots of all time. It's a beautiful, poetic film that's very much like an opera. It's not a feel-good movie. It's the feel-bad movie of the summer. Number 88. At number 88, we have a very early example of avant-garde cinema out of Italy. We have Federico Fellini's 8½. At this point in Fellini's career, he directed 6 features and 3 short films, totaling up to the number 8½. Semi-autobiographical, surrealist masterpiece. It's about a film director who doesn't know what kind of film he wants to make, and ultimately makes a film about making a film, about not knowing how to make a film, and he's trying to tell a story that is true. He's trying to be honest for the first time in his life. And he fears that he might not have anything true to say. It's very Fellini. I mean, there's no other way of describing it. It's unique in and of itself. The only other director that could come close to something this bizarre is Alejandro Jodorowsky. What's funny about 8½, is that the film itself mirrors the production. So if you ever want to know what the behind the scenes of 8½, are, you only have to watch 8½. 8½ is a mind-bending experience, to say the least. Number 87. We're going to bring it back to 1984 with the controversial Poltergeist. And what's so controversial about Poltergeist? Well, who directed it, for one? It's credited to Tobe Hooper, who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But a lot of reports from the set actually cite Steven Spielberg as the director. Spielberg was working on E.T. at the time, and he had signed a contract that prevented him from developing any other films while he was working on E.T. Hooper and Spielberg entered in some sort of partnership, really, to direct this movie, where they each supposedly had equal say in storyboarding and camera placement and actually directing the movie. It's a great family horror film, which is really difficult to come by. It's a story of a family who moves into a new home in a subdivision in Southern California. Odd things start happening. Chairs start moving, the TVs turn off and on, and then their youngest daughter goes missing. It is a fantastic haunted house movie, and it really cements in the rules of this type of film. You can't really talk about Poltergeist without talking about Zelda Rubinstein, who was fantastic as the psychic. Can't talk about Poltergeist without talking about Craig T. Nelson, who was amazing as the father teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, maybe has an alcohol problem. He definitely has an alcohol problem. And Jo Beth Williams, I mean, she's fantastic as the mother. Holy cow. Why don't you let Poltergeist into your house tonight? Let me know what you think. 86. 86 might be my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And that movie is Gremlins. Bet you thought it was gonna be Die Hard. Psych! You all know what Gremlins is? Written by Christopher Columbus, directed by Joe Dante, and executive produced by Steven Spielberg. Is there a movie this guy didn't touch in the 80s? Gremlins is about a young boy named Billy who lives in a small town in Ohio, and his father is a traveling inventor salesman. Some wacky job you can only have in the movies. And his father picks him up a pet in Chinatown, and this pet comes with some care instructions. Since this is a horror comedy, you know that the care instructions were not followed to the letter. Billy gets the pet, names it Gizmo. He tries to follow the rules, but what happens is he breaks the first one, which is never get it wet. And then he breaks the second one, and he feeds it after midnight. Joe Dante is one of the most underrated directors of the 80s. I mean, the guy really had a knack for crafting unique, effects-driven experiences that told great stories. I saw a work print of this movie with Joe Dante about 1.5 years ago. Joe Dante claims that one of the only reasons Gremlins was even greenlit was because when they tested Gizmo, they made him the same color as Steven Spielberg's dog so that he would instantly have an attachment to it. The original script for Gremlins was super dark. The Gremlins actually wound up beheading Billy's mom, and they devour the dog. I mean, it was a really hard R movie. It's The Blob at Christmas time with monsters. Phew. Is that it? Did we make it? Is this the end of the episode? It's the end of the episode. I'm all alone up here, so, talk to me down there.
A PFT Media production.